What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing my honest review on my 2023 GR86 Premium.
Drinking inside this ride, this is a dirty ride, and I scare like Curry slide, I been smoking inside, I wake up blurry.
This one, 2023, got the premium version, so it comes with premium features, unlike the base model. So, you know, it has everything: seat warmers, upgraded speakers, all the basic cool stuff that you get, you know, from a stereotypical premium trim car. So it's not too base, but you know, it's not too much, because again, the GR86 is a driver's car, it's a sports car, and we're going to get into the specs really quick, right? I actually went with the 6-speed manual option, as you can see in there. The reason why is because I had a BRZ before and it was a manual, so I was looking for a new car because I totaled it, and you know, I wanted to upgrade. And of course, I can't go automatic if I'm coming from a manual. Manual is probably the best decision that I've ever made as far as cars, because it's so fun, it's engaging. People say, oh, manual's too much work, too much hassle. No, it's not. Once you drive a manual car for a while, it becomes like second nature almost. So it's extremely fun. All right, I've owned the car for about 3 weeks now, and I've got the car around 28,000 miles, so wasn't too driven. Still close to brand new, which is how I like cars. I don't usually like to get anything that's brand new again, obviously. So this was kind of the sweet spot if you are looking for a used car. I would aim it for maybe around 20 to 50,000 miles. And the reason I bought this, you see, my first car, I had a Corolla, daily driver, amazing on gas, but it was too boring for what I wanted. I wanted something, you know, that had a more kick, more fun. So the second car I got was a BRZ. Had that car for legit 3 weeks before I totaled it. I know. And then my goal for a new car was something that was still somewhat practical, but also fun and engaging as well. And having the BRZ, there wasn't really much options I can go into for a rear-wheel drive, manual, you know, affordable, lightweight sports car. So the BRZ was one of the more, or the GR86 was one of the more budget-friendly options for me. It was between this and a 3.0 Supra. The 3.0 Supra was kind of out of my pay range as of right now. I was gonna go the 2.0 Supra, which is a really controversial take. The reason why I wanted the 2.0 was because my thing was I only had 3 cars: GR86, 2.0 Supra, 3.0 Supra. 3.0 Supra too expensive. The 2.0 Supra cheaper, and it's still a 4-cylinder, and the GR86 is obviously a 4-cylinder coupe rear-wheel drive. You know, the 2.0 Supra and the GR86 both have 4 cylinders. I think the Supra comes turboed because it has the B48. So, you know, it was kind of between those two. Obviously, if it was completely up to me, I would have got the Supra. But I'm satisfied with my purchase of the GR86 because, you know, it's in its own lane of cars. You know, it's snappy, handles amazingly. You know, the power is pretty decent, but that's not the point of this car, right? So if you're looking to get a GR86 and you're looking for something that's snappy, straight road speed, freaking leaning in the back, like pushing you back to the seat, this is probably not the best car for you, even though it can still do that. But if you're looking for that pure raw straight line performance, go with the 2.0 or 3.0 Supra. And if you're looking for something that's a bit more fun and nimble, and you know, something that gives you more control, I will go with the GR86, obviously. Again, to show you some of the exterior features, from what you can see, I do have a catback exhaust that I took off from my old BRZ. So yes, if you're trying to swap parts from an old gen BRZ onto the GR86, it will fit. But I'll get into the mod specifications later on. But they come with these nice tail lights. You got the GR86 badge right there. As you can see, they have these little fender flares right here. I don't know if you guys can see this well, but they have the little fender flares. Kind of adds, you know, a little bit of aggression to the car. I believe these are 18-inch by 225 tires. These are Michelin's. These come stock with the car. Really good tires. These will grip. You know, I've kind of ran through them a little bit because, you know, I like to be a little crazy in the car, I guess you could say. And they also come with these really nice side skirt flares right here. As you can see, it adds more aggression. We actually do have functional air vents right here. I'm pretty sure the air goes into here and it cools off the brakes and stuff. And then, yeah, you know, you got the Toyota badge. You got the GR86 emblem on the front of the car. You know, it's nice. I went with this, I guess it's a metallic gray, and you know, it has the black mirror caps. It's pretty decent. It's a beautiful, sexy car. And fun fact, a lot of people mix this car up with the Supra. Obviously, if you're talking to someone that really doesn't know much about cars, they're gonna be like, oh, is that a Supra? I'll be telling them yes. because you know you gotta fake it till you make it, I guess. Let's get into the interior, so I can show you guys a bit what we're working with on the inside. As you can see right here, our steering wheel has the GR86 emblem. The cockpit is pretty basic. If you own a old gen BRZ, you'll kind of take a lot of similarities out of this one, and you can see it's really not that different from the BRZ. You know, obviously you got your analog gauge. I'll turn this on so you guys can see it. You get a nice beautiful startup GR right there, and it's pretty nice. You got your I think in the premium they only come with we have track, as you can see right here. I'm not sure if you can see it because of the glare, but for the premium options you get a track mode, and then you also get obviously the traction off mode, which comes in the manual options as well. And then from here you can choose your heated seats. Yes, these do come with heated seats, which is pretty nice. But I'm not going to get too technical about the interior of the car because I'm not really a tech nerd as far as cars, but it's pretty nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a startup so you guys can hear it. And before I actually do get into the startup, the only modifications on this car, it's fully stock, but the only modifications I do have on this car is that it is a catted open dump. I know you guys saw the tips earlier and I mentioned the catback exhaust. I currently do have the tips on right now, just, you know, the muffler part, but it's not connected to anything, you know. I wanted to do that for style. I'm probably gonna take it off because it's a little loose, but the only modifications on this car as of right now, it is fully open dump from the cat. So there's no exhaust, no piping at all. So it's pretty, you know, rumbly. So I'll give you guys a quick start. As you can see, it's a little warm, and as you can see, it has the nice, beautiful GR86 startup logo. And if you couldn't notice, it actually imitates the Boxer engine on the startup as well. So it's a pretty cool feature. But yeah, it's an open dump, so it kind of gets a little annoying inside the cabin, but the drone is honestly not that bad, especially because I run an open dump on my BRZ. But you know, honestly, the drone isn't that bad. If you listen to music loudly, you'll get used to it. So you know, it's cool. You know, it feels like it adds better throttle response to the car. It probably does because of the restriction. Overall, it's nice, not too much. It probably is a little loud on the road, but I love it, right? And I'll give you guys a few little revs just so you can hear it. So yeah, it gets up there, and it stinks, right? It freaking stinks. But yeah, I love my open dump. I'm thinking about going even louder. Which is next is going to be performance. This is mostly, I guess, for sound. But I will be installing unequal length headers on the car. Those are catless, so there's going to be absolutely zero restriction on the car. And then the headers obviously open up the engine more, and I'm going to get a tune that comes along with it, so I actually get some horsepower gains. And if you are looking to add horsepower gains on the BRZ or GR86 or the FRS platform in general, the best option, if you don't want to go the booster route, get headers and a tune. That's our version of downpipe tune. But yeah, you know, it's pretty nice. And yeah, now the moment that you all been waiting for, let's actually hit the road a little bit. I'm not going to bore you guys with a bunch of specifications on the car as well, because obviously if you're going to want to get a car, you're going to actually want to see how it performs. So that's going to be my goal of today's video, really show you guys the pure, unfiltered, what it's like to own a GR86. And let's get straight into it. As you can see, the cabin drone, it gets a little annoying, but it's honestly all not too bad if you're asking me. But yeah, we are sort of close to the BMW dealership, so it's a bunch of cars that come through here, but nevertheless, this car does get a little this car gets up for sure. Now let's get the hell out of here before. So yes, if you are looking for a drift car, this car can do just that for you. Obviously, it's wonderful. And make sure if you're going to be doing any type of drifting, obviously make sure you guys are in some sort of environment that allows it. You know, obviously not near any poles or curbs or nothing. obviously not in private trespassing areas, because you know you want to make sure you're not breaking the law. But if you do want to drift this car, obviously my best recommendations would be go to legal pits where that is allowed. And this car, literally the perfect car for drifting. You should have no issue getting this thing sideways, right? And you know, that's why I love the GR86. It's so easy to get it to kick out the rear wheels, and it's so easy to, you know, spin and control it once you're actually inside that spin as well. So perfect car as far as sliding and drifting. 10 out of 10. So yeah, let's get more into, you know, the important stuff as far as being able to daily drive this car. I daily drive this car every single day. It's pretty comfortable. Obviously, having an open dumped car, it might get a little annoying, but it's honestly in all not too bad. So yeah. Yeah, but it's honestly in all not too bad, honestly. So this car is definitely daily drivable, and we're actually going to drive the car in track mode. So I'm going to turn off and then turn on track mode. What this does is it kind of gets rid of the nannies just a teeny bit, so it allows you to have more of a raw driving experience. And I actually roll the windows down so we're not trapped with the drone. But track mode essentially just takes off the nannies. It gives you this cool digital gauge, you know, and it just allows you to be able to be more free with the car. Obviously, if you spin out or get too sideways, the nannies will kick back in. So it's not a pure death trap experience, right? If you want that pure death trap experience and you're in a controlled environment, obviously turn off traction and stability all the way by just holding down the traction button, and then there you go. But essentially, yeah, it's fun. It's daily drivable, so it feels fine on the roads. If traffic, if you're comfortable with manual, traffic is its own thing. You know, you're always going to be a little tight as far as traffic, obviously driving manual. But besides that, it's beautiful. And if you have the automatic version of the GR86, still a solid option, then you don't even have to worry about that, honestly, right? But we're going to take this on the back roads just a little bit, just so you can kind of get a feel for just how loose it can get and how well it handles. We're not going to do anything wild, because, you know, don't want to wreck the car again. But, you know, we're going to at least show you how it moves. So let's pick up some speed here. The beautiful sound of the catted open dump, wonderful. I was gonna go with the factory option. It did come with the GR86 performance exhaust, and it comes with a bit of a horsepower gain, and then obviously you get the beautiful tone. Getting some quick shifts for you, and yeah, beautiful, beautiful car. It has more than enough power, honestly, more than enough. For this section, I like to, you know, keep a dial back a little bit on the vocals so you guys can just hear the car in its fullest. So let's do that. It grips so beautifully. It's like the car is glued to the road. Absolutely. Downshifts in for you. Get a quick pull for y'all. This car actually has a 0 to 60 in about, I don't remember the exact, but it's close to the high 5s and more closer to low 6s. So obviously not the fastest, but it's still pretty quick, especially, you know, it's all depending on the driver, how quickly you can shift between the gears. But, you know, it's still pretty fast for what it is. You know, obviously it being a manual and it being rear-wheel drive and it being so small and nimble, you really feel all 6 of those seconds. And it's still a pretty powerful car, to say the least. It has a pretty solid amount of torque. To get more into the weight specifications, the car weighs about 2,700 pounds, or I'm sorry, it could be around 3,700 pounds, or 2,800 pounds. I'm not too sure. But, you know, it's pretty light. It's very, very light for what it is. And it has pretty good power to weight ratio, right? So as you can see on the back roads, it handles pretty well. I will get on the highway a little bit just so you guys can see how it operates, you know, on highway speeds. And, you know, for what it is, it's still a pretty decently fast car. So obviously it'll have no issues merging and, you know, doing what you have to do to get onto the highway, obviously. But hey, let's try it out, right? As you can see, we're going the speed limit, and that turn is just flawless. With my exhaust setup, as you can hear, you do get a lot of burbles and a lot of pops, which is why I really love the open dump setup. Obviously, if you have a catback exhaust and you have the right setup, you can still get pops and banks here or there. But, you know, I really, really love my exhaust setup simply for the facts, because I like loud. I like to be able to hear, you know, the engine screaming. I like to hear all the pops and bangs. So it'll definitely give you that. And even when I had the catback exhaust, it still popped and burbled and cracked just a little bit. So, you know, the car does burble pretty stock. Obviously, if you have a full exhaust setup that restricts most of it, then obviously you're not going to have as many pops. Again, that all comes back to the catalytic converter, the muffler, and the resonator all catching, you know, that excess fuel that comes in. But, you know, when you don't have those restrictions and the car really breathes the way it's supposed to, you get those pops, right? So, yeah. As you can see. So we actually are going to find somewhere to park here so I can close out this video for y'all. In reversing this car, it's a little weird with my, I think I have to get my teeth in my gear shift looked at, but it's simple. You want to pull this little switch right here up to the left. It's going to go all the way to the left, and you can just reverse. It does have the backup camera as well, so if you don't know how to park, there you go. So yeah, and now there are some other features I wanted to get into as well that I might have missed. Get a closer look at the actual digital gauge that it gives us. When you're in track mode, as you can see, it has this nice, it shows all your temps as well right here, all the important temps and stuff. If you click this, I'm pretty sure it's this button right here, that's how you start your actual timer. So yes, this car comes with a built-in timer. If you do plan on tracking your car, you can track all your times. You have your fuel gauge, all your traction buttons on the bottom right. You have your outside temps, basically everything that you'll ever need when you are in the track mode. And as you can see, it shows the little small track gauge at the bottom as well, and it gives you this nice cool RPM odometer reader, whatever the fuck you call it, right? When you're not in track mode, this is how it'll usually look. You have your miles per gallon, your average miles per gallon, and then your miles till E, and then obviously in the bottom left you have your actual full-on miles, and then your temps and fuel levels are still the same as well. If you go into the settings as well, if you're on this screen, as you can see on the left, you can play around with the little pad right here. If you go up, it'll show your battery gauge. My battery is a little strange. I will give you an honest heads up. When I got this car, I had to take it to the shop twice because there was a bit of an issue with the 12 volt or with the 16 volt battery. It would die, especially if you leave the accessory mode on for too long. I know that's common knowledge, but the car will die. The GR86s don't come with the best stock battery, so that might be an issue that is, you know, pretty common. So don't be alarmed if you're driving one day and your car goes into limp mode, you read the codes, and it starts talking about ECM, PCM, fault malfunction. It's an issue that I haven't yet resolved, but it's not too serious. If you clear the codes or take it to a shop can actually, test your battery voltages as well and get that handled. But that is a common problem inside the GR86. And yeah, and then obviously you have your fuel or your oil levels at the bottom still as well, and then you just have a basic digital gauge. And yeah, and you can check your car tire PSI from here. You can check your average total miles. You can check, pretty basically everything that you'll ever need to check in that screen. And then obviously you can adjust your units. And now something really cool, which I do like about the GR86, you can actually set your limiter. I'm pretty sure if you go to screen settings, you go to rev, you can pretty much edit what the car redlines at. As you can see, if you want to have it at a lower RPMs, it'll kind of give you a little indicator to shift. I usually like to set mine closer to 7 because I like to really rev my car out so I can hear it. But obviously you can adjust that to your liking. Then you have the buzzer and the indicator as well. You have your startup screen, which is the little beautiful GR86 startup thingy that it gives you in the beginning. Yeah, and then you have more settings as well. You have your graphs right here, which tells you about your accelerators, and then as well as your, I'm sorry, fine shit just drove by. As you can see here, you can look at your G-forces in live time as well. So when you're driving, all that great stuff. I don't know too much about it. You have your RPM ranges and stuff, so it gives you a lot of feedback based off the way that you drive. And then obviously you have more settings here that you can look through as well. When you turn off traction all the way, you're going to want to hold down this button right here for about 5 seconds, and then you'll notice it's in traction when it has the track looking screen on, but it doesn't say track at the bottom. You still have all the track gauges and stuff. Let's turn off that timer. And then at the bottom it should say track off, and then it should show like a little road with slippery lines. That's going to be your stability. Your stability is going to be off. And yeah, it's a 6-speed, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. You can adjust all your temps right here. This is going to be your temperature. Left and right is going to be the left and right seat, and then obviously you can adjust how much it's blowing. If you press the mode button, you can adjust where it's hitting at. This is for your defrosters, obviously, and then sync, obviously, if you want to sync the temperatures on both sides, which is pretty cool. Max AC, I haven't tried that, but I assume it just puts the AC on max. Right, and then you have your heat warmers. I'm not sure if I showed you guys this, but I'll show you guys again. High, low for both sides of the seats. And the back seat is non-existent, so if you're going to be 4 doors, 4 whores in here, it's not happening. Unless you have 2 really tiny petite women in the back, it's probably not going to work. But yeah, but you have your horn, pretty loud, GR86 emblem. And yeah, I'm not going to open the hatch because it's a lot of stuff in there I don't know too much about, so I'm not going to get into that. You have your air vents, all that good stuff. You have your screen, which comes with CarPlay, all your buttons, you have your apps. Pretty solid stuff. You have a pretty hefty space, and yeah, I'll show you guys the trunk space as well, so you guys can get a look at it as well. Because surprisingly enough, the GR86 does have pretty decent trunk space, I would say. Of car stuff thrown around in here, but as you can see, you get a lot of space. And yeah, things I do not like about the car. Nothing. It's like, no, I'm not gonna say that, but again, things I don't like about the car. Obviously, earlier that I mentioned in the video, you have that battery issue as well. That could be a little scary. Another issue that I found with the car, if you filled it up with gas too much, I don't like to put a full tank of gas in my car because it kind of freaks out, all the charcoal sensors and stuff. I had an experience where I fully gassed up the car and I took it for a little backroads drive. I smelled a strong hint of vapors and fuel within the car in the cabin. I drove around for a little bit. I thought it was normal because in the BRZ I had the same issue. I drove it around like that for a little bit, and I actually had a check engine light come on. We read the codes, and then it was something related to the fuel tank being overfueled, and then it was leaking into like a charcoal sensor, and it was just making my car freak out. So that is the thing. This car has a lot of technology, so even the little smallest things will set the car off. Thank God this time it didn't go into limp mode, but if that happens, don't freak out. Usually it's just, if it's not detrimental and, you take good care of the car, usually the car will just freak out and it'll throw codes at you. But with that issue, I checked my gas cap and it was extremely pressurized. We had to slowly turn it to get all the pressure out, and it was actually leaking fumes. So it's a pretty dangerous situation. So if I were you, I would drive around the car. You might get a check engine light if you do this, but if you ever have that issue, just drive around with the cap a little bit loose, not fully tightened, and then obviously don't fill your car up all the way. And I've been doing that, and I haven't had issues ever since. That's another thing as well. Another thing about this car that I don't like, which, you know, this is kind of more so like a, you know, driver's mod or driver error experience. So this is going to vary based on how well you can drive the car. If you're going to be drifting this car, all the torque is more so in higher RPMs. So if you're kind of like trying to baby it and you're trying to get it to kick out by, you know, clutch kicking it just a little bit, and the car doesn't get sideways, if you do it too much, the car is very light, so it will snap, right? If you freaking floor and redline it and then let go of the clutch, the car will snap sideways. So if you're, you know, being a bit of a delinquent and you're doing that on an open road, not saying to do this, don't recommend it at all, do not do that, that is illegal. If you're doing that, then the car might lose control, and then you could, you know, harm yourself, others, or potentially the car. So it's not a good idea if you're not experienced to just be out on an open road, completely raising the RPMs to kick out the back, because the car's light, it will snap, right? It will kick out. You know, it's not like more so muscle cars where you can just, you know, press the gas and press the throttle and it'll just go. You don't have as much control. It's funny enough, you do have a lot of control, but at the same time you don't, because it can snap. So that's another thing. And I don't think I have any other concerns besides that. Obviously, also as well, I have noticed if you're going to be driving this car for a while, like I like to go on road trips with my car group a lot. The oil levels do get pretty hot, I noticed. So if you're going to look into long-term, you know, pushing the car, invest into some better upgraded cooling for the car as well. That's what I plan on doing to this car. So invest in better cooling as well. But besides that, I don't think I have any other concerns or issues or complaints with the car. It's a beautiful car, 10 out of 10. It's wonderful. I love it, right? It brings me pure, genuine joy and happiness. Now, to get into ownership cost of this car, you guys are going to hate me when I say this, but it's still a pretty budget-friendly car. If you're young, obviously, insurance is going to be high. I got around an 8% APR with a cosigner on this car, so I'm paying around $600 a month. No, it's more close to the $580 a month for about 72 months, I believe. So it's a pretty, you know, if you're making decent money, you don't mind putting a few coins to a car, and you know, you live at home or whatever, you can afford the payments. I can afford the payments, right? So I'm paying about $580 in a car note per month. Insurance, don't laugh, I'm paying $600 a month insuring with Progressive. I'm 19 years old. I haven't had any crash history, but I guess because I'm young and I'm in a sports car, and I have about 3 years of a driving experience. So I guess they just decided to throw the book at me with that. But I am paying about $600 per month in insurance, plus a $600 car note. So not including gas, I'm paying around $1,200 a month for this car. I drive this car a lot, so if we're varying gas, that's going to kick it up to maybe $1,500 per month, which is fine. I have a pretty decent job, so I can afford it. But ownership costs, if you're going to be doing your own maintenance, it's not that cheap. All you need is a jack. Obviously, you're going to be doing oil changes. You just need basic tools, oil filter, oil wrench, all that good stuff. And you should have no problems. With other stuff, you want to get the car inspected, you get all the fluids changed. I would estimate it's around maybe a few $100s, maybe every few months, to just get the car maintenance. It's a Toyota at the end of the day, so it's not too expensive to get the car maintenance and all that stuff, to get all the stuff checked up, all the fluids and all that stuff, get the, you know, your inspection. It's not too expensive. So me personally, I'm paying around maybe, give or take, $10,000, $10,000 to $12,000 a year for the car, including maintenance costs, insurance, gas, all that stuff, which is not too bad, right? So if you have a decent job, you don't got to worry about that, right? Now, again, to get into who should not buy the car, if you're looking for something that's going to be able to make you a dig or a roll race demon, it's not happening. If you're looking for straight line, pure raw speed like a muscle car, not happening. If you're looking for something that's more so fun, more controllable, you know, the classic sports car feel while still having enough power to get up there and hang with cars on a track, I would say the GR86 is the car for you. The car is not for someone that's looking for pure raw power, speed, and performance, because that's just simply not what it is. If you want that, get the Supra. My final verdict on the car, would I recommend it? Absolutely yes, 100%. It's a wonderful car, to say the least. You know, to put very simply, it's a wonderful car. It's affordable. It's fun, as you can see, and it's just amazing. I would give it a 9.5 out of 10 just in general, all around. Me personally, you know, other people have goals with cars. Some people, they just want, you know, the luxury. Some people, they want the pure performance. Some people, they want the badge. This car, obviously, it's a sports car, so it's not going to have the best luxury, but it does have bucket seats, if I didn't mention that. It does have buckets, but it's a sports car. If you're looking for a fun sports car, this is the perfect car for you, especially if you're not trying to spend a bunch. If you're not trying to spend a bunch of money as well. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys in this video. Just wanted to give you guys an honest review, my honest review on the GR86 2023 Premium. And yeah, some content to look out for in the future. I will be getting the unequal length headers. I will be installing a better cooling system. I'll hopefully one day get to the point where I can install a body kit. So we got a hefty project coming along with this car. And obviously I have a car group. If you don't know that already, if you want to check out my car group on Instagram, we'll follow you guys back. If you're in the DMV area, give us a DM. We're looking for people to join the car group. You know, we just want to make it as extensive as possible. You know, it's going to be vantage.est on the screen. I'll have it on the screen as well. And it's also going to be in the bio as well. My personal IG, if you want to take a look at the flicks I post, it's going to be kevs, KEVS.gr. And you can see all the car flicks, all the, you know, cool stuff I take with the car. If you follow me on there, I'll follow you back. I'm not going to be stingy. I'm not Hollywood. I'll follow you guys back. But yeah, just keep a lookout for all the future content. We're going to have a lot of cool car meet stuff. We're going to have a lot of collabs and stuff as well with other car guys, other car clubs and stuff. You know, we're just going to have a fun time. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned to see how far we can take the build. And who knows, I might be getting another car in the future. So that's all I got for you guys in this video today. If you did enjoy and you like car content like this, or you want me to review something else, or there's something I didn't cover in the video that you want me to cover in another video, let me know. Right? Follow, like, subscribe, all that great stuff. I'm kind of new to this content stuff, so, you know, I'm going to be learning along the way, but, you know, I'm excited for the journey. If you like content like this and you want to see more, follow the page. That's all I got to say. See you boys later.